Three, two, one. She always has to remind me to do that. Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon everywhere. Good afternoon, everyone. Scott here from Sierra Interactive, Director of Industry Relations. Really happy to have everybody on the call. We are going to give it a couple of minutes. This is like sort of part two of another webinar we did before the holidays. So those of you who joined us for the first part, you know what you're in for. Those of you who are new, buckle your seatbelts because we're going to come fast and furious. Kira is like drives 100 miles an hour, so I'm going to strap in myself, but she's going to deliver some serious value here. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes. Question of the day. I was trying to figure this out before we started. Question of the day. How many tabs do you have open in your browser right now? How about that? I
I
have,
didn't even confess that.
yeah, I thought I could count it real quick, but I don't. I can't. I have three instances of Google open on three different logins with probably 30 tabs on each. So 10, that's a good number. 10 and 12, that's respectable. 15 is even respectable. Zero, Chad, what are you in the car or something?
Right.
28. All right. I'm beating all these guys.
I feel like these are all manageable. I feel like at one point I was at like
Yeah, totally.
50
Like
something.
nine. I've got nine in just like a folder. Like you know
The
how
best is like
you can
when
do
you,
the groups now. The groups. I have like nine in one group.
my favorite's like when you try to shut your computer down and you think you got all the tabs and then another set of tabs
Right.
open and then another one and then it's
Yes.
like 10 minutes later.
Tw- oh, yeah. Okay. JC's at 77, so that doesn't
I got
surprise me at
excited
all.
too. I saw that. I'm like, someone who speaks our language.
I know JC, so that doesn't surprise me at all. 31. All right, we got some good numbers coming in here. So those of you who are joining us, we're going to give it a couple of minutes, but not too long because we do have a lot to cover. Um, so just keep putting how many tabs you have open now, and sounds like everybody can hear me and see me, so that's good. And I mean, heck, I don't see any reason to wait any longer. So, again, thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm really excited for a couple of reasons. Number one, the content is going to blow your mind. I know it because I haven't heard this specific content, but I've heard this presenter. And number two is Kira is not only a great Sierra partner, but you know those people that you just want to win because they know their stuff, they're passionate about what they do, and they're just really, really good. That's what Kira Invisible Agent are. She is just one of the most passionate people I know. I get to spend 2 days with her at Tom Ferry Elite Retreat this past week, and she was on fire. So she really knows what she's doing. We're going to be talking a lot, all about being found with AI. If you're not visible in today's market as a real estate agent, I'm not sure what you've been doing, like unless you're brand new. So, what are the top agents doing these days, specifically using AI to be found, to be visible, and what should they be doing, right? So, with that, Kira, take it away, man. I'm just here for the ride, so it's all you.
I'm excited to be here. I'm just gonna actually share screen and we'll dive on in and let's just blow this screen up as well. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna look this way just because that's where my big giant screen is here. But wanted to talk about, like you said, what are real estate agents doing today, and specifically with AI? And like Scott had mentioned, back in October, we did a webinar together. I'm not going to repeat too much from that one. So I know the recording's up on their YouTube channel, or if you need it, just ping us. We're happy to send that your way.
Yeah.
I want to really make this a part two, and keep this moving because I will even say things that I talked about in October has evolved and changed. So, as God said, my name is Kira. I'm the founder of Visible Agent. We've helped agents across the country and even in Canada become number one top producing agents in their area, or if they're already top producing, we've helped them maintain it and continue to gain traction in their market. We've also helped agents go from solo to small, large, medium teams, mega teams. It's been an awesome journey to watch them grow, but also be able to contribute to that. We partner with some amazing brokerages in the country. We love partnering with Sierra Interactive and even with coaching companies out there. So we're very, very vested in. We only work with real estate agents. So this is my love language, we'll say. I just love talking with real estate agents and all the things with online SEO and even GEO. So what we're going to talk about today, really game plan on 2026 SEO and GEO. And I'm going to break down what that means in a second, y'all, in case you're new to this. Okay. I don't want you to feel stumped with AI. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and feel just confused and give up and walk away because you walk away, you're going to be walking away from business. And I don't want you to do that for 2026. And I want to make sure you're positioned to really be the one that's like, you're everywhere. Like every time somebody searches, whatever keyword it is, you're borderline feeling like you're the one stalking them because no matter what, you're the one that's coming up, right? They're like, okay, I'm just going to call that person. With that being said, I go fast. It's just my natural language here, but y'all have questions, put it in the chat, slow me down, ask. I rather like kind of digress from my slides and answer things for you because I know in situations like this, we could write a ton of notes and walk away and just be like, oh my God, where do I even go from here? I really want you guys to take action on it. I know our last webinar, I still get messages of people that said, hey, I did this and it helped me with this. And I want to see more of those because I want to see y'all win. Okay. So I did mention this in October. I'm going to bring it back because it's like a year in review. This is one of our clients. He's Matt Templeton. He's out in Dallas, Fort Worth area, right? I mean, every market's competitive, but my goodness, like being in Dallas and just how overpopulated it is with people and with agents itself, we absolutely helped him crush it on his online presence. Like beforehand, he was crushing it, y'all. He was top of Real Trends and Fast Expert and all these other pages and sites. But in 2025 itself, we helped him close an additional 30 transactions. 30 transactions that came from Google that would not have existed if he did not have an online presence. 30 transactions that came from a chat GPT perplexity. If he did not have that online presence, he would have missed out on that, which is an additional 7 million in volume. And to put in perspective, his average price point at the time when we started was in the low 300s. And now his average price point, we're heading north of like 550 plus, which is awesome. Right. I like to show the big picture. 2025, altogether, he came up 88,000 times in searches for various keywords. Talk about being like that agent that like you see everywhere. We brought that into that digital space. All right. And 4,000 times in maps, over 200 inbound calls coming in. And while that might sound great, I'm going to pump the brakes for a second, right? Because while the phone could ring, if you can't convert, you ain't gonna see the outcome of this, right? So this guy, I mean, he can convert like anyone under the sun. If somebody's not even looking for real estate, there might have been an accidental phone call, all of a sudden is now like buying a home with him. That's how awesome he is, all right? And I want to see this kind of traction for all of you as well. So as I promised, I'm going to back it up for one quick second here. Let's talk about the difference of SEO versus GEO,
Hang on
right?
one second, Kier. We have a
Yeah.
question. Was he is he an individual agent or does he have a team?
He has a small team of
Okay,
less than five.
cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So search engine optimization and generative engine optimization. So SEO, there's been some rumor, people like to say that SEO is dead. That is not true. SEO is very much alive. And that's part of the reason why, like, if you have a Sierra Interactive website or website in general, that's where your SEO wins. Okay. That is organic traffic. That's authority building. ChatGPT and Perplexity and Grok got to pull from somewhere, y'all. And it can be your website. So it's got to be, you got to take leverage of that. GEO, your generative engine optimization, that is, like I said, your Perplexity, your Grok, all of your AI mentions, it becomes conversational. Anybody ever get suckered into conversations with ChatGPT and you're like, give me more. Tell me more about this. This is great, ChatGPT. I'd love more information. Right. We get suckered in, we see that engagement. So that is our overall of SEO, GEO. Okay. All right. We're going to keep this moving along. All right. How many of you, and hit me up with like high five emojis? I love emojis. High five emojis or smiley face emojis want to see more messages like this. These are intentional messages. Something like my family and I are relocating to the Houston area and I'd like to buy a home. Unfortunately, we're in a bit of a hurry. We could be reached at. I mean, unfortunately for the people
Yeah.
that have to move quickly, but for the agent,
Unfortunately, we're in a hurry, right? Yeah. Agents hate seeing that.
right? We see intention there, right? Or we're looking for a four-bedroom house with a separate in-law with kitchen in Baytown or Cove area. Thank you. We're getting the specifics of intentional people here. How many of you want to see more of that in your inboxes? Because I promise you, life is just so much easier that way. Okay.
And more fun.
Way more fun, right? So we're seeing a lot of that come because, again, the searches out of AI are solid, right? People are writing it more than Google, where they would write realtor near me. The realtors come up. Now in AI, it's like a Dear Diary entry, right? Like looking to move to League City and I want a realtor who's knowledgeable, experienced, has great reviews, truly knows the ins and outs. Yo, that's like a real high volume search that we're seeing from people in that area. They're writing the adjectives of what they're looking for, who they want to work with. And now it's more than just best realtor, top realtor, right? Everybody's racing after those words, race after the emotions, because that's what you're going to find in an AI situation. That's how people are going to connect more with you when they're putting in their emotions and you're the output, you're their solution. Right. And you'll hear me say that a lot. You want to be the solution to people's problems. Their problem is who is going to help me buy, who is going to help me sell, who's going to help me relocate. You want to be the answer. And it's more than just, I'm the best. We got to give the reasons of why you're the best. Okay. Again, we're shifting. This is a massive shift of just who's the best real estate agent near me. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still usable, especially on Siri and Echo and Alexa. So many options out there. But in the new world, like I said, specifics. We saw this in one particular area to the point we had to call the agent and ask them, like, is this a big time for a reload? She's like, yes, it is. We're like, we should have told us that sooner so we could help market it a lot better right now, right? But we're seeing this here. Who do I hire if I'm relocating with kids? I need a good school district close to highways for my work commute, and I'm nervous about overpaying in the market. Pain point, emotion, pain point, emotion, pain point, emotion. Right. And I know some of you are like, we can't talk about school districts, right? That's just like we'll be steering. They can search for a school district. You could still say top rated in X, Y, and Z without saying what your personal preferences are. Right. This is what people want to know. And when you're the one that's providing that information for them, then they're going to be going with you without a doubt. So Scott mentioned we were at Elite Retreat last week, Tom Ferry event. One of our clients, Nadia, she's in San Diego market. She had 98% of her business is SOI and referrals. Who else is similar to that? I'd love to see it in the chat. Are you mainly SOI? Are you mainly referral? 70%. Awesome.
70%.
Love it. Who else? What is your percentages, y'all? I would love to see like where you're at, right? And I'm going to tell you, as you guys chat, put that in the chat, is that SOI is not going to go away. I'm not saying we're here to replace SOI. We're not here to replace referrals. Okay. 50-50. Awesome. Okay, we're not here to replace referrals, right? We're here to say we want to leverage it. In fact, Nadia just gotten a listing through ChatGPT. And here's the funny part about it. She started having a conversation at the appointment, and then they came to realize they knew the same people. Nadia sold their friend's house. In fact, a friend referred, and the listing appointment forgot her name. They didn't think to go back to their friend on that referral, but they found her on ChatGPT. All right, that's going to happen. Don't rely just on the SOI. Don't rely just on the referrals. Okay, we want everything and anything under the sun. So her thing was they didn't think they really needed online SEO. I mean, come on, 98% high end luxury market, San Diego, Carlsbad, like smooth sailing. They're good. She's been doing this for 20 years. Why rock the boat? Her regrets not starting sooner. Where everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of conversations I've had for 2025, people are like, that was a tough market. That was not my best year. It was rough. It was slow. We started working 2023, 2024 in January. She's like, that was the best year. I'm like, great. We talked this week. She's like, that was the best year. I said, well, you said last year was the best year. She's like, no, that was even a better year, right? Compounding on that combination of SOI referrals. And that's because, look at this, on ChatGPT, looking for a super knowledgeable real estate agent in Carlsbad, California, who knows the area and has great reviews and years of experience to sell my home. It didn't give multiple options. It gave Colucci and Co Realty and all the reasons why. All those reasons are plugged into her website, y'all. That is the reason that it's giving. Here it is. And then, oh, look at the bottom. It's like, hey, we can give you some more options. No, we don't need more options. You just gave me all the reasons. And you gave me all these different sites that she's on that validates it. All right. We see her on Fast Expert. We see her on Apple Maps. We see her on Bing Maps. We see her on Yahoo. We see her on Perplexity. We see her on Grok. Everywhere. giving those options. Okay. I know it's two truths and a lie, but we're going to twist this of two lies and a truth here. Okay.
I like
And I'm
that.
going to go for the bottom up, the truth. SEO builds your foundation. So many of you, if you have a Seer Interactive website, I want you to take a little bit of a reality check. When was the last time you signed into the back end of your website and you updated your meta tags, your meta descriptions? When was your last blog post? All those things that contribute in to help. Never. Karen is just giving it all to us. I love this, Karen.
Yeah.
Keep being honest and vulnerable with me. I'll give more to you. Mark, today, awesome, love it. Okay, GEO is going to expand your reach while SEO is building that foundation. They go hand in hand. Okay, so I don't want you to think one over the other. I'm going to kind of break this down to you. AI tools can do SEO for you. I heard that way too many times last week when we were at our event. AI is going to do this for me. I'm going to put into Chat GPT. Be honest, how many of you have done this? I'm going to put into Chat GPT. How do I rank to be the best realtor in my area? And then it gives you this list. You're like, oh, this is golden. Thanks, Chat GPT. And it's like, you're welcome. Or even better, you're like, hey, by the way, what about this? And it's like, great idea. And it's patting you on the back and it's suckering you in to stay even longer. Here's what I'm going to break to you. It didn't give you a special customized strategy for your market. And every agent under the sun is doing the same thing. In fact, in the last 2 weeks alone, there was over 300,000 searches on ChatGPT of how do I rank better? It's going to give you the same output, right? So I want you to realize that one, it's one, not going to stay in your market. And two, let's really think about this. You think ChatGPT is going to give away the goods for free of how to rank higher on their platform? I mean, you might love ChatGPT, but y'all aren't besties, right? They don't owe you any favors whatsoever. They got to keep it going there. The competition is running. You got to make sure you're keeping it hyper local, hyper focused, and what are people looking for in your market? I can't repeat that or stress that enough, y'all. Okay.
Hey, Kira,
Mhm.
Brittany, sorry to interrupt, but Brittany put
Yeah.
in that she noticed that her current website provider does not allow her blogs to be crawlable. Now, I've heard this from other providers as well. Just to clarify from our perspective, Sierra is one of the most crawlable websites out there. And I think, Kira, you can probably talk to our ability to index and things like that and be found.
I will 100% say I will back that up. We work with agents with that use different websites as well. Sierra is probably literally the most powerful one that we have seen, most adaptable and most flexible. So if you're in a situation where blogs are not AI crawlable, what is the point then? Right? Like you're just putting stuff out there in cyberspace. No, like those blogs need to be working for you. I know like a few years ago, people were like, oh, there's no blogs, like they're dead, like whatever, who cares? No, you need them, right? That's what's going to help. That's answering those questions on AI. So definitely needs everything on your site needs to be crawlable. 100%. And not only crawlable for search engine optimization purposes, but it's got to be adaptable for AI as well. Okay. And so that's something really big and really important. I know for us, we've really partnered well with Sierra and we have what is called schema coding. You guys have probably heard of that before. And it's basically a coding that allows AI to search your website better. And Sierra has one for the website in general. We embed an additional one for your bio. So it really answers to that. And then we have an additional one. Oh, this is going to be later, but I'll spill the beans anyway. For reviews, right? Where people are like,
Cool.
oh, it's not picking up on reviews. Oh, it's picking up on reviews, all right. And I'm going to show you in a few pages how and why. But you most certainly want you want everything crawlable. Again, then what's the point of even having the page? What's the point of putting the effort into the blogs itself? Awesome. Yeah, Scott, just like pause me because I've got this screen
Yep,
going, so I don't see the questions.
I got you.
Thank you. Okay. And then here's my favorite. ChatGPT is replacing Google. This is my favorite slide, y'all. I have two boys, and there's a whole book called Who Will Win series. And so this is what ChatGPT is good for, creating images, okay? So who will win, Google or versus ChatGPT? Can I tell you guys? Don't worry about that. Let them duke it out. Okay? Let them duke it out. First off, Google still has an upper hand in this space. Okay. They've been around longer. They've got more verticals. You've got the Google search. You've got Google business. You've got Google local service ads. You've got Google pay-per-click ads. You like the list goes. They've got Gemini, right? ChatGPT, they're coming out with paid ads. We're not talking about that today, guys. That might be Scott a part three. We might do a
Yeah.
trilogy series here. But ChatGPT is gonna come out with paid ads. There's still things, guys, that it's new. And I'm gonna give you an example. In ChatGPT, we have a client that said, well, not said, we were searching her, and she was coming up number one. And she's been with Keller Williams for over 10 years. But in parentheses, it showed Caldwell Banker. But the paragraph talked about her being with KW and it linked to her KW site. It's still working things out. It's still fairly new. Okay. I also want you to think about who your demographic is. Just because you use ChatGPT for everything doesn't mean everybody does, right? The older demographic is petrified of AI. They don't understand it. They don't know it. They ain't touching it, right? So if you're dealing with downsizers or those that are like 70, 75 plus, they might not use ChatGPT. Don't lose an opportunity because you're going to stay focused in one, right? You have your younger demographic that might be all about like Grok and Perplexity and might ditch Google, but we see people still using AOL and Bing and Yahoo. So I like to say, let the platforms duke it out. You get to take advantage of every single opportunity out there. I look at it as that there's more opportunities for you as real estate agents to get your name out there, right? Just like you did postcard mailers and you hit up all these zip codes, those are all of your opportunities. These are all of your opportunities in the digital landscape for your farming areas. Can you attach this to Google reviews? Can you attach like your searches to Google reviews, you mean? I'll give Karen a second to elaborate on that.
Maybe that's something you're going to touch on with the ability to crawl reviews as well. So
Yes, I will. Perfect. Okay. SEO, GEO, how agents are getting found. Okay, Karen, I promise we're going to circle back to that because I have a visual that'll map it out and show it. SEO, like I said, meta tags, meta descriptions, keyword searches, optimizable content. So I want to be clear. Behind the scenes, it's not just I'm gonna use Mark's name because he's top of the list here. Mark Washburn, top realtor in your area, right? That's called keyword stuffing. Google and AI is smart enough to know what's up and how you're trying to cheat the system. All right. It's no longer just that. Stats, data, wins. All right. How many transactions have you closed lifetime? How many reviews do you have out there? What are the areas that you service, etc. GEO, generative engine optimization, where are they pulling from? They're pulling from what we call citations and directories. There's Zillow, Realtor.com, Fast Expert. Even right now, we're seeing the latest one is Clever Real Estate. And then as well, if you're in the market to be able to apply, I suggest to do it right away, which is Real Trends, because Real Trends open up their application on January 12th. I believe it wraps up in April, but those that get those submissions earlier and get that ranking with Real Trends, it's going to start attaching in AI searches come March. So I'm recommending to all my clients, like get your applications in this week if you're eligible in that market. I know there's certain markets that is too small and it doesn't touch, but if you're in a market like Miami, Dallas, San Diego, Virginia, DC, etc., you want to make sure you're getting that Real Trends in because it is going to be a valuable source come the end of Q1 and early of Q2. So don't miss out on that opportunity. Okay. We want to make sure that maps are optimized. And I'm going to share with you why that's so important. And then also making sure we've got local keywords. All right. So that is your difference maker. And I know we probably feel like, oh my God, my mind is blowing, but I promise you it's all going to make sense and it's going to come together. All right. Data. Data is not, it's all about direction. It's not just our noise. Okay. What people are searching for still matters. Search volume didn't disappear, y'all. It's just spread out more on all of these different platforms. All right, so there's still activity. In fact, I'm going to tell you in the last 10 days, search volume, when I look at every search output there is possible, searches are up, right? Interest rates are down, searches are up. People are making moves. And especially this weekend, if you're in part of the country where it's going to be absolutely freezing, people are going to be looking at like, How do I move out of this to warmer weather? I'm over the winter. I was that person 5 years ago. I lived in New York. Couldn't handle winters anymore, right? So you're gonna see, I guarantee you this weekend, we're gonna see major increase in search volumes. Okay. And again, knowing what your market is. So again, there's more options for them to choose from. And as well as, I'm going to paint even a bigger picture to you. We had a client who she received a call, and when she asked how they found her, the woman explained, my mother is moving, she's older, she did her search, I did my search, and my son wanted to make sure we were all on the same page and did his search. Three different people, three different states, three different search platforms. One used Yahoo, one used Google, one used Perplexity. The agent still came up for the same search term. Okay. We got to understand where people are going, what they're doing, and how to stay in front of it. So, data. Data is all about what problems people are actively trying to solve. Okay. I've been in my home. I'm getting a divorce after 30 years. My soon to be ex is being a jerk and giving me a hard time to find that agent. Who could I turn to? We got to understand what are people looking for, how they phrase these problems in real life. Again, dear diary entries, they are pouring their heart and their souls. That way, as time agents are answering, they're getting the full storyline as well, and then booking appointments. We got to understand when the demand is rising and when demand is cooling on searches. You know your market best. So you're going to know, like, for instance, I just spoke with someone who's in Martha's Vineyard. Summertime, it's slow. This is her busy time. People are trying to get into their summer rentals. People are thinking about selling their house now so that way somebody could be in it by summertime. You got to know when to take advantage of it and take advantage of the online market. And making sure that you know that the questions are going to lead to decision making answers for those that are searching. Okay. How do you decide what content to create? Right. I just told you don't be using the top realtor, best realtor, or my favorite. I've seen blog posts out there that's like top 5 smart devices to have in your home to sell your home for a top dollar. I don't think you probably ever heard a homeowner be like, what smart device should I include to get like multiple offers in my home, right? Like, really understand it. I've seen people say, like, oh, I'm putting out 5, 6 blog posts a day every day. That's exhausting. That's like, let's just be valuable to our time as well, right? Don't just put content for the sake of content. Be the solution solver for people, okay? Choose what pages deserve your focus. I'm going to say right now, blog posts. And we're very consistent on our ends. For our clients, we post every single Monday consistently. However, if just like your meta tags and your meta descriptions haven't been checked on ever, or 3, 4, 5 years ago, you might want to start refreshing your neighborhood pages as well. Okay. And those neighborhood pages is going to be more than just like, I live in Naples, right? Naples, Florida is like one of the best beach communities ever, right? No, we got to put that value of like why I would be the best realtor to help you in the Naples area because I've sold 100 transactions in 2025 with volume of, I don't sell anyway, by the way, guys. I'm just using myself as an example, right? But this way I could say, oh, in Naples, this agent has a proven track record, right?
And Kira, not only would you say it's not only updating the content on those community pages, but also updating those meta tags and metadata on those community pages, which you can in Sierra. You have access to those.
And it's so easy on Sierra, guys. Like just to go in, refresh that, update it. I would say, like, honestly, meta tags and descriptions, we tend to update pretty much quarterly because searches shift, right? It's like
Yeah.
for us, we look at searches like people look at the stock market, right? What went up, what went down was replaced. Um,
Cool. And
yes,
then
I did say
how
one time a
often?
week.
Yeah.
One time a week on blog posts. So, look, I don't think like 2 times a week is bad. I think that's fine as well. I just don't. I will tell you, I've seen agents do 5, 6 days a week, and then I get in the back end and I look at their data, and I have clients that were just doing one day a week that totally outrank them, totally have
Yeah.
outbeaten them. All right.
And to that point, it's not to say you can't batch create that stuff. You can create 5 blog posts at a time if you want, put them into Sierra, and then just don't make them visible until the first, every Monday or every Tuesday or whenever. So,
That's what I love with Sierra, that we schedule them out for our clients on the back
Mhm.
end. So to actually to your point, next week is the week we actually schedule out for all of our clients. The first week of the month, we then look at the data from the previous month, right? How did it do? What worked? What didn't? Then we start our research again. We start writing the next month and rinse and repeat. So I don't know if you guys do any kind of like video filming and you meet with like a videographer once a month, the same thing for your blog post, right? Just jam it out once a month, schedule it out, solid calls to action, and solid calls to action, and also making sure we have what we call inbound and outbound links, right? So a contact me, contact page, right? Or one neighborhood page can then go to your blog post that talks more about the top best 5 restaurants in this area, right? So, because that is something that even AI is going to pick up on. All right. If you have these dead end pages that go nowhere, it's not going to crawl you as strong as it should. All right. And then, like I said, let's make sure that we're not creating content that nobody's looking for. I recently, one of our newer clients, he's great. And I actually met him last week, and we like to call him the gentle giant, big, tall guy. And his blog post was about gardening and sewing. And I was like, do you garden by chance? He's like, never. I'm like, then why do we have blog posts about gardening? Right? Like, I was trying to feel like some sort of emotional connection there. It wasn't there. So, guys, don't just put content out for the sake of content. Don't put out content that's talking about the entire market as the like as a whole country. You know your market best, all right? Create blog posts for listings is the kind of content you would consider irrelevant. You know what? Blog posts for listings work to entertain the home seller, but it doesn't necessarily work for ranking purposes because quite honestly, when it comes to listings, one, depending on your market, they can be moving quicker, etc. But for the homeowner, they're like, oh, I got more exposure, I got seen more, right? Or you could put it a part of like your marketing report of like, hey, look what we did for you online, and here's our Facebook post, right? But by the time, because search curls don't happen every hour on the hour, search curls don't happen like the way they do on social media that they do on Google and AI. So you could post it, and then all of a sudden, there's like weeks go by of a crawl, and it's just like irrelevant,
Yeah.
like irrelevant
So
info.
you really want to focus on evergreen content, content that can be looked at over and over and over again and is still as relevant as possible. So the good news is Sierra is going to index our listing pages, so that those can potentially be found in searches as well. So you don't need to create a separate blog post for it.
No, not at all. I've been writing blogs that are each a full scope view of every major city we serve. Does this seem like something useful, or am I wasting my time? So you're writing blog posts for every major city that you serve, but it's not a waste of time as long as it's written in a way that why are you the expert of that area? Why do you know that area so well? Why do you recommend that area so well? What is your record in that area most importantly? All right.
And do you think
That's
do you
really
think they
huge.
should get even more granular? Like, what are the best parks in that city, or what are the best, top 5 restaurants in that city, or taking that city and getting more granular? Is that a better strategy?
That's actually a great strategy as well. And then when you're talking about that specific restaurant, you can hyperlink that restaurant name to that restaurant website because then as well, you're building links, right? And honestly, I think it's beneficial. And if you're going to be writing about local businesses like that, you can let the owner know or the manager know, and then even ask them for a review, and that actually even builds in
Cool.
search engine worlds, right? It compounds, and now you really look like the expert in the area, like you really know your stuff.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
I think I got everybody. That is what I
Yep.
talked
Sounds
about.
like
Great.
Reagan is doing that as well, so that's awesome.
Woohoo, great. Now make sure that you're tracking that output. Right now, you're not going to see crazy amount of search views your first 30 days that you guys are doing it. But after like 90 days and you're not seeing some volume in your search views, you're not seeing volume in your ranking, then you have to readjust that strategy. Okay. This is not an overnight success type of thing. Okay. Like I said, guys, we are getting really specific on the kind of searches that are happening out there in this area. So you want to again your know your demographic, who they are, what they like, what they need, right? Going into that blog post a little bit more, copywriting is almost your new superpower. Again, I'm a boy mom, so you see a lot of superhero references during my presentation, y'all. But like I said, your local expert here to guide you. Or my favorite, not my favorite, it like makes me cringe, guys. Dream home. If you have Dream Home on your homepage, your immediate homework after this webinar is to change that. Because one, if I type in Dream Home in my search, I don't even think a real estate agent is going to come up. I think some HGTV page is going to come up for me,
Yeah.
right? That's such a
Uh-oh. I think we might have lost her.
big generic
Oh, there she
keyword. Or
is.
oh, did I freeze?
No, I think we lost you for a second, but you're back.
Okay, I'm
Yep,
back.
you're good.
Right. When it comes to
Tell the
Dream Home,
kids to stop screaming.
did it stop sharing?
No, I said tell your kids to stop streaming.
Oh. So Dream Home as well, like I was saying, with the um, general, like it becomes really general, right? And I want you to think about the last time you spoke to someone who wants to buy a home. Did they really come to you and said, "Oh my gosh, Scott, I'm looking to buy my dream home"? Nobody really even talks that way,
No, I
right?
never heard that.
So get dream home out of your page. Okay, replace it with, right? Who do you help? Move up buyers, win without losing their sanity, right? Luxury sellers protect price when first offer doesn't impress. I help relocating families buy fast, smart, calm, even from out of state. Those pain points. That is going to be really, really important. Okay. Like I said, search volume tells you the topic, intent tells you your angle, the copy that you're writing out there decides who gets hired. So I know a lot of people out there will use something like Answer the Public to help find what that search volume is. I'll tell you on our side, we have a proprietary software. We've got awesome developers that kind of actually created like something that is like Answer the Public and like other platforms out there, meshed and merge it all into one. So we're able to track off every AI platform there is in existence and what people are searching by the minute, by the hour, by the month, so that way we can see who are we actually writing for and what and why we need to write it. Okay. How search intent changes the message. Okay. Again, people are searching, is now a good time to buy? What is my home worth? Right. But you want to go more specific, guys. I gave you something really like top level here, right? What is my home worth in Dallas, Texas? Right. What is my single family home worth in Miami, Florida, right? What is my multifamily home worth in whatever town, neighborhood you live in, right? Again, I know some people panic. I can't talk about school districts. Know what you can and can't. I'm just giving you guys some parameters here, right? When it comes to relo, people are thinking about moving to X city with kids. What are the best parts of New York City to raise children in, right? What is the cost of living in Savannah, Georgia? Right? These are questions that people are asking. They want to know, right? What should I know before moving? Now, I'm going to add to this, right? If you guys are like fun and cool with doing video, you could do video topics like this as well. You can have those videos live on your Sierra Interactive page. Now you double dipped. You got it out there on YouTube. You got it on your website. We're building our hyperlinks. We're answering those questions. We're doing something that's really top heavy and trending. You win, right? You win in AI. You win on when they do an all search. You win when they do a video search. You win when they do an image search. Okay, all the areas possible.
Here, real quick, backing up a little bit, Reagan had asked, you had mentioned kind of writing posts and tracking how they're ranking and then adjusting as you go. What ways can people track their activity on those blog posts? Would it be Google Analytics?
Google Analytics. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So Google Analytics is going to be your best bet, honestly, and that's going to give
Okay.
you it's great because it's going to tell you how long people are on your site for, where did they come from, especially when they're on the blogs. Like we're seeing that, and that's been like just the biggest eye opener to see the last 30 days. A lot of traffic for blog posts was coming from Llama, which is Meta's AI now, right? And that was a nice big shift to see like Llama kind of popped up there while Microsoft Copilot starting to sneak into the list. And then we saw a little drop of Perplexity. So Google Analytics is the best way possible. And if y'all have an SEO website, it's pretty easy to embed that for your tracking and so forth. If you have another website, you have to go ask them how to embed that. But you should be able to get that on a monthly basis, right?
Thank
Uh,
you.
which actually, I'm going to digress for a hot second. That brings up to a really great point. When you're evaluating your tech stack, right? Your website is your tech stack, your CRM is your tech stack, right? You want to see where the activity is coming, how much of it is coming, where, when, found, etc. And if you don't have SEO and GEO in your tech stack, like today is a day to add that to your tech stack. Okay, it's not something you can ignore anymore. Okay. Um, Okay, I want to go into the journey, right? So we've got the home buying journey and you got a seller's journey, right? That you share with your clients, you share with your prospects, right? So when somebody's looking to buy a home, you're explaining to them all the steps they're going to go through to get to the end point of the closing table and their new home. When you're working with the seller, you're talking to them all the stages of how you're going to market and what it's like to accept an offer, and again, how to get to that close. Guys, it's the same thing to understand the consumer behavior of how they're going to search and how they're going to get there to find you. Okay. It's not just by a snap of fingers. It's not by chance. If you're doing this by chance, well, cross your fingers and best of luck to you. If you're going to lean towards one over the other, you're going to lose this year. Point blank, simple. Okay. I actually had somebody tell me, I'm only going to focus on Chat GPT. I'm like, that is awesome. You do it. And my agent is going to crush you in that market because we're going to dominate every single one. Right. So understand where they're coming from. They're going to start in a really vulnerable stage. And the cool part about AI, like I said, that Dear Diary entry, they pour their heart and soul without really being sold to yet, right? In a way, AI is doing the selling for you as to why you're the go-to realtor for that situation, right? But sometimes it's not just, okay, I found you on AI, I'm going to call you. They go from AI and then they're going to click on that source. And now they're going to your website and they're going to check out your website and then they're going to check out your reviews and then they're going to check out any other kind of marketing you have out there. We've even heard it where people have said, hey, I saw you had that home listed for sale. I actually wanted to see how you positioned it for sale before I made the decision to call you, right? So there's a way that they're going through this journey to get to you. And we need to understand that, again, they're going through it, but they get there, their decision has been made. It's intentional. They're hot leads. The conversion is like it's like served on a platter for you guys. Seriously. I can honestly say the second half of the year last year, as we listened, our team gets to listen to calls when agents hang up. We get recordings of them, especially with like if you're used Follow Up Boss or based on your CRM, and we're hearing them and we're monitoring them. I actually have to say, the second half of last year, I heard way less people say, okay, why don't you come in? I'm talking to a few other agents. And my agents have said the same exact thing. Like they're in there and it's not even, it's less of a competition in person, but your competition has increased online. And we got to dominate that. Okay. My word of the year. Well, I have two words of the year. Our team has a word of the year of momentum. Our clients picked up momentum and we don't want to settle on momentum. So our word of the year with our team is that we want to keep picking up the momentum for our clients. But our clients, what we gave them the word of the year is pivot. Pivot. You have to be ready to pivot, you guys. There is no 100% prediction plan of what AI is going to do this year. I can tell you what it's doing this quarter, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that by the end of the year, the activity and the actions and the way AI is set up is going to be unrecognizable. It is not slowing down. It is not stopping. If you feel like you can't catch your breath, breathe 1, 2, 3 and keep it going because that is the train of AI right now. So pivot is the word. If you want to put that in like your screen on your computer just to remind you, do so. Our
And
team
that's
actually has
that's
a
one of the
quick
things that you guys do best, Kira. If I could jump in, is the way that you keep up with what's going on in all this stuff is absolutely mind-boggling because everybody knows and hears how fast this stuff is moving. And like, how can any one person keep up with what's changing all the time? You literally every time I talk to you, like, oh yeah, Google just changed XYZ last week, and chat changed XYZ. This like, it's super impressive how you guys keep up with that stuff.
Thank you. And speaking to that actually is um Q4, Google My Business removed Q&A. They removed the question and answer, right? Which y'all, it made sense because you guys were writing your own questions and answering yourselves, right? There was no consumer really going out there writing a question. They never got an alert when it was being answered, right? It was quite silly, but it was a nice ego booster for y'all, right? You're like, yes, okay, I got Q&A, got Q&A, Q&A. Boom, they took it away. And most people were like, okay, that really stunk. They took it away. What did we do? To your point, we pivoted. Our development team should have taken them probably about 3 months to create this. We did it in 6 weeks. We did 2 weeks of quality assurance, and now we have what we call FAQs. So this is actually one of our clients who has a Sierra website. The FAQs is there. What is these FAQs? We are pulling the top trending questions on AI in that market, and the answers go back to that agent. So as AI is doing that search crawl, we've embedded our schema coding, right? The language that's going to tell AI, hey, I'm here, and here's what I do best. AI is going to say, oh, yep, that's what you do best. And that was a question there. You guys answered it, you win, right?
That's
So
super
these
cool.
Thank you. These questions are actually rotating every few weeks. I don't have a dead set time because, again, search trends are changing. So one week we could have one question replaced. Another week we're going to have five. Another week we're going to have two. Another week there's not going to be any because it's going to remain the same. But these FAQs are constantly going to be rotating in real time, which is awesome. Okay. The other thing as well, and that's why I did a screenshot where like Q&A used to be, and now it's just like, here's your contact info, here's your reviews, that's it. But on the website, we're answering those questions. Furthermore, you can even see up on the top, we've got that little review. It's actually we'll call it a review widget. It's a slider, right? And it pulls from Google Business Profile, and we get it onto the Sierra site within 15 minutes of getting a 5-star review. It gets published. Never again do you have to remember, did I update my reviews? Right? Automation, because that's where we're headed at with all of this. Okay. Now, here's even more awesome is on AI for specifically, right? We got looking to move from New York City to Westwood, New Jersey. Who's the best realtor to work with? Our client Paula Clark came up. It referenced her website, but here's the thing that ChatGPT is now doing. You see at the bottom, there is a map. Now you got a map pack like you had in Google. Google has this map pack, right? You got your three people that they list. Now ChatGPT is giving you the map. Oh, and look, it's pulling reviews. It says she's got 5-star reviews. But didn't people say reviews is not being searched? It's changing, right? So what we did is we created once again another code that goes in the back end, and we were able to really easily do this on the Sierra website. So this way, whether it's going to be any other platform out there, it's still going to pull those Google reviews. It will not say Google reviews, but because we've got, I'm going to go back actually real quick, that widget there in that site that you see up there on the top, that's what AI is going to be pulling from. And so that's what it did here, where it said, okay, she's a 5-star real estate agent. Now look at this. When you hit that map, the screenshot on the right almost looks like a Google business page on ChatGPT. Craziness. But even more wild is that it pulled all of our content from her website, from her blogs, the things we wrote on Fast Expert. It's like this like compound effect that is happening. And it's happening quicker than we think. We wake up one day and you feel like you're settled into a routine, and AI is just going to rock your world. That's why we say pivot is the word of the year right now. All right. This is so cool. This is where I
I
geek
love
out.
this one. This is
This,
one of my favorites.
this is where I geek out. Okay. So it's one thing that you guys like, oh, I saw myself. Yay, I'm there. Right. And then the next day you're like, I don't know what happened. I'm not there anymore. We have to understand there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of searches that are happening every day and every hour. And our outputs are going to be slightly different. So Scott right now is you're in Colorado?
Colorado.
Totally like blanked out. Scott in Colorado, hence his background, right? I'm in Florida. We can do the same search for a real estate agent in Charleston, South Carolina, and we can get different outputs. You want consistency. So this is an example of actually our reporting, and this is in the grid lines how this agent is actually ranking. You see one, you see two, you see three. This is close to perfect. And I say close to perfect because it says
I
out
don't
of
think I
1.7.
don't think you've ever shown one that's all green. That's pretty
This one is
impressive.
like rocked out. And
Yeah.
we've held this from June through and on. So you see that
Wow.
base reporting was June 6th. Last reporting was June 8th. We did some slip, right? We have some that dropped to a two, but we're still in our top two because it is a roller coaster ride. But on the bottom is what I get so excited about. We are one of the first companies that can actually truly understand the ranking of AI visibility. So for Westwood Realtor, y'all just saw that screenshot. She came up number one in ChatGPT. She's coming up number one in Gemini. In June, she wasn't even ranking on that. She's showing up number one in Meta Llama. She's coming up number six in Perplexity. And now our next focus is to break ground on Grok, in addition to increase the ranking on Perplexity and also stay number one on the other platforms, right? So don't get turned off if you're searching and you're like, oh, I didn't pop up. Right. And also don't get too excited if you're searching and you feel like you did pop up, right? Because your search is centered around you. And ChatGPT likes to tease you and be like, yeah, look at you. No, we need the data. We need the true actual numbers. Okay. And so, and each keyword that you go after is going to perform a little bit differently. Again, measurables, data, everything has to be driven by that. Just like if you go into a listing appointment, somebody might ask you, what's your average days on market in comparison to the market's days on market, right? Same thing works here when it comes to SEO and GEO. Benjamin, these grid maps are actually, once again, pulled actually from our proprietary software that we actually developed so that way we can track and measure appropriately and accurately. So we just have a kick-ass product development team that has just constantly, I'll say, fine-tuning our own craft, right? Because we want to see how it all adds up, right? So on a map that looks like that, and we have multiple maps looks like that for the client in Westwood, New Jersey, for 12 months, the search views equaled, right? So we're ranking number one in all these areas. That's all great. But what's the output? The output, 15,000 searches in 12 months. 131 calls in 12 months, 191% increase year over year because she worked with us in 2024. So we like to see our comparison 2024 versus 2025. Website clicks up 102%. Rocking and rolling. So much so, I don't think we've seen her in 2 months
That's
because she's at
that's insane.
appointments
That's
for Google.
insane. Crazy.
Right. So we want to see how it all drives to help boost what you're getting. In the SEO world, you're going to fight to be seen, guys. Every single day. It is, I like to say it's honestly, it's a battle. It's a battlefield out there. It really is. Right. In the geo world, you're going to fight to be selected. All right. So I know a lot of times people think like, oh, like I could just totally do this myself. I want to really enforce and encourage what is it that you really want to do? Because the top 1% agents that we specifically work with, I always ask them, what is it that you're doing that you're not slowing down? The volume that you're doing at production, there's no slowdown, there's no break. It's constant going, constant listings every single week. And they've all said the same thing. Every single day, they're doing the income producing activities. In fact, I actually have a client that if I called her at 9:30 in the morning, she's going to put me to voicemail. Why? Because from 9 to 12 every single day, she's making her calls. And then afterwards is appointments. So I get a text message if I call her, and then she'll text me in the afternoon, right? But what are those income producing activities? Delegate the rest, right? Because there's so much changing that by the time you feel like you can implement something, the next thing has happened. The next thing has happened. This whole FAQ and replacing with like the Q&A and so forth blew our minds. Blew our minds. And this is someone, guys, I sit on a Google advisory board. I'm in the know, and we didn't know this was happening, right? So pivot, pivot, pivot is going to be huge. And like I said, delegate your SEO and your GEO, just like you delegate your website to Sierra or whoever you utilize, right? You're not going to sit there and try to create a website. So know what and how you want to deliver to your bottom line, because I will tell you 110%, you make this a primary focus, your business will become unrecognizable. I'll tell you, the clients that allowed us to take control, um, we finally got our numbers for 2025. Clients that worked with us for 12 months, on average, 22% of their GCI came from Google and AI leads alone.
Holy
Some more,
crap.
some less, but 22% for 2025 in a slow market, y'all. Right? Clients that have been with us for 24 months or more, we actually hit 35 to 38% of GCI.
Wow. That's nuts.
I don't know how people feel about Zillow. All I'm simply going to say is that we have three clients that are walking away from Zillow simply because of the
Wow.
Google and AI leads that they're getting, and then they don't have to pay that extra whatever Zillow arrangements that they have. I ain't going to
Wow.
knock Zillow. I'm just giving the statements.
That's wild. Those are crazy numbers. I mean, you just can't argue with that. I mean, it's super impressive.
Thank
Super
you.
impressive.
It's like I said, all about pivoting. We're hyper focused. This is our only avenue that we focus on. We love working, like I said, with Sierra because everything that we've been doing thus far has been extremely compatible, super easy to embed and adjust to. Can't say that for everyone that we work with out there, but this one has been just really easy. Like I said, between FAQs, review widgets, getting our blog posts up, getting our schema coding out there, making the magic happen. That's it. Any
Wow.
questions, y'all? Any other questions I'm seeing here?
I told you guys it was going to be fast and furious. I mean, that was nonstop. We did have a bunch of questions, and thank you guys for being so interactive. Any other questions? I'm personally super impressed that you came in under the mark because I was telling JC we're definitely going over, but you did it.
I have 3 minutes. So I have a quick question. How
It's
long does it take to get up
okay.
and running? I love this question. Okay. Every market is going to be different, and depending on how much you actually have set up is also going to be different. Okay. We have seen agents get results as quickly as 30 days. I don't promise that because I don't know what I'm dealing with on the back end. We've seen clients take as long as 9 or 10 months. Okay. What I can tell you is that we continue to fine tune the strategy to get what we want out of the situation. But to make it relevant in your guys' world, when you go on a listing appointment, how long do you tell the seller it's going to take to sell their home? Do you tell the seller, I'm going to sell your home in 30 days with multiple offers? You can't guarantee that, right? So, in this world of organic SEO, it will take time. It will take time to compound. I'm happy to share what those case studies look like in the different markets, right? We have a market in the Florida Keys in Duck Key. That agent, it did take us 15 months, but he has a really small, tiny market. But my Dallas agent, it took us 4 months. I had someone in Raleigh, California, took 2 weeks, and she had 3 listing calls. Can't promise that, y'all.
That's crazy.
Okay, y'all.
Amazing.
I know we're running out of time. That is my QR code. If you're interested in talking further, I'm happy to continue the conversation on, but I also want to be respectful to everybody's time.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you, Kira. I mean, I like spending time with you. I love the information you're able to share. We've got a ton of clients on this webinar, and for those of you out there, thank you for being clients. We appreciate you. We also have a ton of guests. For those guests, if you're interested in learning more about Sierra, I just put the link in the chat again to find out more. We'll be able to talk to you about how we can help your business. And obviously, Kira's QR code is up there if you want to get more information and learn how to work with them. I highly suggest it, and you just saw the magic. So, thank you, everybody. Kira, thank you so much. Really appreciate you spending the time with us and sharing. We're going to look to do another one of these at some point, maybe Q2, because we can't take up too much of her time, but I'm sure things are going to change between now and then, so we'll have a lot more information to deliver. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Have a good, productive weekend, and we'll see everybody soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.